Scott the engineer having to leave during the show yesterday because of illness. Some people are suspecting he was not ill. It was due to his fight with Baba Booey.
Yeah, I think it was Delabate flu.
Delabate flu, yeah.
There you go. It's sweeping
that rare strain.
The whole station.
We're hoping to get an exclusive with Scott the engineer later in the program. Find out exactly what went down. And
Howard Stern exclusive.
Right now, he's considered the hottest guest to get. Scott the engineer.
That's right. We hope we get him first.
That's right. Scott the engineer.
He looks fine.
There he is. He recovered from his illness.
It's amazing.
No, your move every time you get in a fight is to go, I'm leaving. Like you're like a woman.
I don't need this.
Yeah. What's
like
up
a
with
woman.
that?
No, seriously.
I got to see somebody about that.
No, really. I mean, like you leave, like you storm out like a woman.
You know what it is? My whole life, believe it or not, nobody's going to believe this. I totally tried to avoid confrontation.
Right.
I know you. I'm telling you. Until I started working on this show.
What happened yesterday?
Well, we had a little disagreement.
What was it about?
And then I got ill. I guess I gave Artie what I had.
Right. Well, you.
What was the disagreement?
I was working, and all of a sudden he comes running into the studio I was in. It wasn't even my studio, and he goes, "I've been trying to call." I go, "Yeah, the phone. Something wrong with the phone." He goes, "Why didn't you fix the phone?" I go, I'm busy working on stuff I'm fixing to get the show on the air. The phone was the least of my concern, and his first mistake was I'm not a phone man. So he assumed I was a phone guy.
Well, I have exciting news for you. You and Baba Booey have been having these fights for too long.
We haven't had one in a long time.
All right.
I mean, I've been pretty calm myself.
But I know that there's something festering.
Really?
And I have called in relationship expert Pat Croce.
Really?
Who says he can patch up anyone's relationship if given the proper time with them.
Oh.
And today on the show, the odd couple.
Have an intervention?
I'm going to have an intervention between Scott the engineer and Baba Booey. And we'll get this worked out.
I just think he was, came
Baba
down
Booey.
on me for.
Baba Booey.
I mean, he just came storming in like, what the hell are you doing? You're sitting here not doing anything, and that's really what.
Did he actually say that, or is that what you?
Well,
that's his interpretation.
He called me a lazy F.
Oh.
That's number one. Yes.
Better get that one on tape.
I think we do. You said you lazy F.
Now, this set you into rocket mode.
It did.
I guess you were screaming at who from E? Richie from E?
No, I wasn't really screaming at E.
Oh, yes, you were.
At Richie? I just said, Richie, please don't use the tape because it's totally out of context.
Told you not to use the goddamn tape.
That was not the tone of please don't
Why
use
are you
the tape.
robbing us of great tape?
Richie, where is this tape?
Well, it's not mine. So
JD's pulling it now. He attacked me, and like 10 times in a row, he goes, "Don't play the tape. You're not getting permission to air any of this." You're not getting-" and I told him, I was like,
told you it was totally out of
I said,
context.
"Scott, shut up. You're repeating yourself. I heard you the first
you didn't
time.
have
You just
the whole.
kept going.
You didn't have the whole thing, so it was totally out of context.
And you were going crazy, going, "I'm not giving permission to air any of this today."
I don't think I said that.
I have that on tape.
No.
I have that on tape.
First of all, I don't
that's-
have to give permission. You can use it whenever you want.
That's right. It's in, but even still, I always like you to be comfortable with it. But I will play it because your head is going to explode.
It will. That's why I wasn't feeling well. Because I had total anxiety.
When you have a fight with someone, you go crazy.
You know what? My wife says I hold it in for like 2
Right,
months, and then
yeah.
all of a sudden, boom!
Everything comes out.
It all comes out. I'm calm, and then
like an
boom.
explosion.
Do you think this is a result of your home life and you want to yell there, but
No.
you can't?
No, I can yell at home.
You like to yell here more than you do at home?
I don't like. Believe it or not, I don't like to yell, but it's It just. I don't like, and that's why it all bubbles over inside of me.
Have you and Baba Booey seen each other today?
I saw him, but we haven't.
You haven't
anything.
spoken.
You haven't spoken.
All right, it's time to get this relationship on track.
Howard, the only reason why I haven't spoken to Scott, because I would have, is because I spoke to the relationship expert yesterday, and he's going to talk to Scott when he comes in, and he feels that it's better that he sort of moderate this whole thing.
All right.
By the way, I've seen him speak. He's a great speaker.
Pat Croce.
Yeah, he's an awesome speaker.
Well, this is going to be very dynamic. Scott the engineer.
Are you willing to sort of work through this relationship with Baba Booey?
Of course, we have to work together. So I mean,
because I want to hear this tape of you exploding.
Yes.
Because
it was pretty.
Told you not to use the goddamn tape.
This is not even it.
No, not.
Actually,
it's
I'm
worse than that one.
sorry that you're bringing in an expert because these tapes are so much fun, and if they go away, I don't know what I'll do.
Trust me, experts schmexpert. These two will be at each other's throats in a month. You ain't going to see anything work out.
I just felt he was overly aggressive on me for, no reason.
Well, you're going to get to air all of your grievances. I have brought in the top specialist.
Oh, good. I appreciate that.
So I spoke to this guy, Pat Croce, yesterday for about 20 minutes.
Right.
And then he's going to talk to Scott when he comes in. And he was really good. I said some things, and he's like, listen, let's not BS. You know what you meant. He doesn't let you off the hook.
Right. You got to air your dirty laundry and then get it off your chest, and then he can work with you.
I'm sort of looking forward to it in a way because I'm going to say what I have to say. Scott's going to say what he has to say, and he's going to...
I even notice as you're speaking to me, you can't even look at Scott.
I'm trying to save it all for the air.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Scott's not looking at him either.
Why would I want to look at those teeth?
It got very ugly. I know Tom was rattled. He
didn't even want to go in and break it up.
No, you know what? I wasn't rattled. I just really decided I was going to let that one go.
Right.
I'm telling you, I've never heard.
Was it so loud that you were upstairs literally and could hear the yelling?
I was in the edit room.
He was behind closed doors.
Behind that airlock door.
And
it was like Scott was standing next to me.
I went in there. I found him cowering behind the equipment.
Believe me, I wasn't cowering, Scott.
All right, here is Sal to say something.
Wait, let me finish. So, and then Scott, after they have the argument, I'm sitting there, I'm just, you know what? These two guys, they got to figure it out.
Right.
All of a sudden, the door flies open. Scott says, I don't have to take his effing BS, and I'm done with it, and the door closes.
You are so gay.
I'm gay.
You're gay.
How does that gay?
You just you run out the door. You're going home sick when you're not sick.
That's like
really,
Scarlett O'Hara.
No, really, I couldn't continue.
He got the vapors and he had to go home.
You could continue.
Oh,
Baba Booey continued. You could continue too.
I worked myself up.
Every Columbus Day, you try to get yourself out of here.
Right, because of the damn parade, I left early.
Right, exactly.
But please tell me when you were in your car, you calmed down and realized how silly it was for you to be leaving.
No, he wanted to get out of here because of the Columbus Day parade.
Right.
I'm telling you. No. And he used this opportunity.
I didn't even.
It was a ruse, a smokescreen.
Yes, Al.
Right.
I think Pat Croce should take a bat and smash it right in Baba Booey's mouth. That's how he could settle this today.
Why? Why are you saying
I've had it with him.
with Baba Booey?
He's very irritable. I'm on Scott's side completely with this.
Wow.
He's demeaning. He's disgusting. I've never been more angry at this.
And you've only been here a week.
That's it.
Wow.
I swear to God, I'm ready to level him right in the hallway.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
I walk into the office this morning. Somebody's got to be in charge around here.
Right. You're in charge.
I walk in the office and he's standing in the office. He walks in and rips a 5-second fart.
Oh, dude.
So I go, Sal, what are you doing? And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, don't do that in here.
Right.
He goes, really? And I go, no, really. And he goes, why not? I go, because this is an office where people work. You can't fart in the office.
Go in the bathroom, dude.
Yeah, but everybody
I agree.
farts. I just
No,
walked in.
everybody
It was
does.
Dude, how old are you?
I'm 35, but
Yeah,
Gary's
dude.
playing it off like it's such a big deal.
It is a big deal.
We're a bunch of men.
I don't want to still. There's
We're not
women
a
in there
bunch
of
too.
in there.
And you know what? I'm a guy. I don't want to smell your stink.
I wouldn't do it in here. I do where Gary is.
No, come on, Sal.
Yeah.
Get a grip on
Oh,
yourself.
okay, all right.
You're working.
Granted,
Did you do that at your office at the stock exchange?
all the time.
No, you didn't.
But listen, hold on. Granted, okay,
He's not there anymore?
I'll be the
Oh.
better guy and apologize to Gary for farting. But still, he doesn't have to yell at me across the office.
Yes, he does.
I didn't yell at you. I'm
You're
not
offensive.
11 years old.
Dude, no one wants to be in a room with your stink. Go in the bathroom.
You know, I was talking to Scott.
I think Gary was out of line.
No, I was talking to Scott DePace. Scott DePace even said, in the E room, which is a bunch of guys, a tiny room, there's a no fart rule. Like,
Right,
Yeah.
because it's too small.
it's too small, and it's
Who
like.
wants to get sick from your smell? Why
And,
do I
and
have
I got to
to?
tell you, when John was here, that was John's thing, and I would always say to John, "Dude, don't do that." He goes, oh, "I can't help it. What do you want? I can't help it."
No, you can't help it.
But it would be disgusting.
Dude, I'm laying in bed with my girlfriend last night. I got to rip one so bad. I get up, and she even said, "Stay in the bed. Give me a Dutch oven. I don't care." I said, "You're crazy. You can't handle it."
You're the perfect woman.
I said, "You can't handle a Dutch." No, because then after I do it, she's like, "Oh,
and she's throwing up in the bed.
So I stood. We were watching Joan of Arcadia on tape.
Oh, wonderful.
And I went right in the hallway, and I blasted off, and I stood there
You're
for
a
like
pussy.
5
You
minutes.
do it in the bed.
You're damn right. I don't want to screw things up here. Because it's gross. Chicks start looking at you differently. So I let it fester out there, and I knew it was fine. And I walk in, and I still dragged it in with me.
Oh, it stayed with you?
She goes, "It still stinks in here."
Hey, can I ask Sal a quick question? Would you walk into Tom's office and rip one?
Yeah,
Absolutely, I would love to.
No,
do
you
that.
wouldn't.
I would do it all day long.
And so if
I
you-
wouldn't brush my teeth for a month and breathe right down Tom's nostrils. Are you
See,
kidding?
he's
what
being
did
goofy
Tom
now.
do to you? You're just trying to, get out of here. Get out.
He's nuts.
I'm
You're
on
not
your
funny.
side, Sal. Don't worry about it.
There's a guy you really want to team up with.
Believe me, 10 minutes from now, Scott and Sal will be screaming at each other.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I got to take a break.
It was just weird that when I said don't do that, he goes, "Come on."
All right, relationship expert Pat Croce.
Apparently, there's a lot of relationships around here that need help.
Yeah, he's going to be here, and Christy Brinkley's going to be here, and it's very exciting. You know that, and I know that. What is
we
this?
didn't even talk to Sal about not making it into work yesterday. Sal
Right.
decided his own holiday.
There's a guy that didn't make it into work yesterday. He's going to yell at his boss.
Yeah, he thought it was Columbus Day, and we should just have off.
Again, that was the incompetence of Baba Booey.
Oh.
It's his job, Mr. Responsibility. Take some responsibility now, Gary. Go ahead.
So how
Sal,
many people work
look at
here?
me.
40, right? How many people came in yesterday
It's
besides
your
you?
responsibility
39.
to ask, do we have tomorrow off?
Where were you for Yom Kippur, Mr. Stern? You had
does
the
that
day
got
off.
to do
Columbus
with it?
Day's my day.
Sal,
It's for the
you're
Italians.
you're so
Here
not
we
being
go.
funny.
Here
Goodbye.
we go.
All right, goodbye.
Okay. And I'll leave you with Scott the engineer's breakdown. Now, at what point is this, Scott?
I have no idea. I didn't hear it.
All right.
Why are you getting on my case, man?
And you don't know that there's issues that are going to pop
I took care of I was working on issues. What do you think I was fucking doing? Jerking off?
Go fuck
Holy mackerel. You must be crazy, man. I'm sitting here trying to fucking work and you get dumped down my throat.
Good luck finding work in here, asshole. Because I certainly don't
Well,
want
I'll
you
leave
with me.
now just for you, you motherfucker.
Nice.
Yeah, some help might be on its way.
I didn't realize he was in charge of hiring for.
I'm not. That's the whole point.
Well, you made it sound like it.
No.
You know that's a sensitive area for
No,
Scott.
and we're going to talk again. Mr. Croce and I discussed this. He's got a really good point. He painted me into a corner. I admitted stuff, and we're going to talk about it.
All right, you pulled out a deadly weapon.
Right,
Absolutely.
that was the dagger that you should
please.
not have played.
Yes, and we'll talk about all that.
I mean, to say, hey, you're going to be looking for work in a year.
No,
I'm
I
sure
got it.
Tom will keep Scott around.
Yeah.
We get along so well.
Yeah.
I got to admit, Scott's been working his ass off lately.
He's a good worker.
I always
He's
work
here.
my ass. I do anything for the show. It's
All right,
yeah.
all right. You don't have to sell me.
I love you, man.
I know that. All right, so that's going to be something to look forward
That's
to.
gonna be
All
great.
right, okay.
I'm Pat Croce. I'm the host of the nationally syndicated show Pat Croce Moving In, and I've come to the Howard Stern show because Gary, Baba Booey, has invited me in because there's a conflict in this studio, on this crew, between Scott the engineer and Gary. They're at war, they're at odds, and we got to get these teammates back together.
And how are you going to do that today?
We're going to do this by interviewing both members separately, Gary and Scott. And then we'll get them together and we'll purge deep down into their souls and make sure we get exactly what's going on with this problem. We'll find out why they're doing what they're doing, and let's see if they really want resolution.
Now, do you know the history between these two guys?
I just know a little history. Gary has talked to me yesterday in his pre-interview, but I'm interested in talking to Scott because I'm not here to make assumptions. I'm here to make an assessment and help them help themselves.
All right, guess we'll see what's going to happen in a few minutes.
Let's go. Bring it on.
Pat Croce is going to come in here. Let me set up what's going on. Yesterday, Baba Booey and Scott the engineer got into one of their heated battles. This has been going on for years. Let me play you some tape of what happened. Here is Scott the engineer yelling yesterday. This is Scott and Gary in the halls. Scott got so pissed he went home early, left
he
work.
couldn't work anymore.
Why are you getting on my case, man?
And you don't know that there's issues that are going to pop
I took care of I was working on issues. What do you think I was fucking doing? Jerking off?
Go fuck
Holy mackerel. You must be crazy, man. I'm sitting here trying to fucking work and you get dumped down my throat.
Good luck finding work in here, asshole. Because I certainly don't
Well,
want
I'll
you with
leave
me.
now just for you, you motherfucker.
Scott, that hurt when Gary said good luck finding work in a year, didn't it?
Sure. I
Yeah.
mean,
All right, let's go to another argument. This is Scott the engineer after that argument yelling at Richie from E because he didn't want Richie using the tape.
Yeah.
Don't play it on the
Don't
air.
yell at me.
Don't play it on the air. What?
Don't yell at me. Then we won't.
You missed the beginning. and
You
it's
said it
totally
5
out of
times already. I
context.
heard you 5 times.
All right.
This is the 5th time. Don't get on my case because you got
He'll
to
get
argue with
his
Gary.
part of it when he comes storming in here for
Don't
fucking no reason.
yell at
This is
me.
my ass,
Don't yell at
okay?
me because you're pissed at him. Don't take it out on other people.
And after that, Scott went to Tom and said, I have to leave.
Yes.
And this has been going on for years. For example,
Scott's one of those guys, like, I'll go in there running and I'll go, I got to get this piece of tape. I got to pull this thing off the phone right now. So Scott's got, we don't have tape anymore. It's all on the computer.
Right.
The computer needs to be set up to record.
Right.
Never does Scott, while I'm getting my message,
that's not true
never
at
does he
all.
turn to the left and get it
That's
set
not-
up.
absolutely
I pull
not
it
true.
all together and then I go, this is what I want. And then Scott goes, okay. And then he turns to the left and he starts.
Right. But
Absolutely
it's always a
not.
slow
That's a lot of the
move.
time. Like when you see me, but seriously, when you see me come in, you should go. And I say, I got to pull this. You should go
I
right
do,
to it.
I do that. If it's not already set up, I
end up waiting a lot.
Well-
It's just a pet peeve to go through darts at my picture.
I did that already.
does he do that?
He's very angry with me.
All right, and then even off the air.
Scott, Lewis was hired here to do what wait a second. Listen to me. Lewis was hired to do transfers of stuff in there, which he is not doing, which Howard is up my ass royally about because he's constantly working on best stuff for you.
You don't want to know about that.
I don't want to know because it's your job to know. I don't have to know. How did you get it done before I had to know? In other words, I didn't always have to know. You dragged my ass.
The way I got it done before,
right.
there wasn't as much.
So then you go, all right.
Let me finish.
I got you. So then
Let
you
me
go
finish.
I know what it is
Let
because
me
it's the same
finish.
song.
No, let me finish.
It's the same song. Go to Richie and tell. In other words, if you can't get it done because you're overworked, I don't want to hear it. If you can't get it done because you're overworked, go to Richie and tell
Fuck
him
you.
you need more
Because
help.
if you don't respect what I have to say, fuck you.
You can't do. You couldn't get your fucking job done if your life depended on it.
Gary, you can take it and shove it up your fucking ass.
This has been going on forever. We now have Pat Croce, who is from a TV show called Moving In on weekdays at, I don't know, it's on all the different channels. He's syndicated.
Or is it moving on?
Moving In.
Moving in.
That's what it says, Moving In. Pat Croce is a relationship expert. Everything, evidently the guy's terrific. There he is. That's the guy.
Hi, Howard.
Hey,
Oh,
Pat.
I've seen him before.
This guy's supposed to be the best.
Hi, Robin.
Pat, how are you a relationship expert before we get started?
I
with
have
these
no
two?
idea.
All right. What are your credentials, really?
I am a physical therapist by trade, an athletic trainer. You know me because I took the Sixers from worst to first in 96 to 2001. So probably mediating between Larry Brown and Allen Iverson made me an expert. I'm more like a life coach,
All
Howard.
right, don't bang on that podium because we have the worst equipment here. And every time you bang on it, it makes tons
There's
of noise.
nothing muffling anything.
Right, so I'm going to yell at Scott about that for a minute. But so is there hope for Baba Booey and Scott the engineer?
Yes.
All
yes.
right. You've spoken to both of them off the air.
That's correct.
Do you want to handle this and I'll shut up?
No, both of us.
Okay.
Both of us, because you're involved here.
The show is called Moving In?
Pat Croce moving in.
Oh,
I move
Croce
into a
moving
different
in.
home in a different town every day.
Oh,
Okay.
That's what it is.
Are you like a Dr. Phil?
He's a psychiatrist or psychologist. I'm not. I'm more like the best friend who tries to give you, really what I try to do is focus on where are these two guys right now and what are they willing to do to get to where they want to be tomorrow. And I kind of act like a performance coach.
Are you like a motivational
That's
speaker?
right.
Okay. All right. Tell me how we handle this. You're the guy.
What has he found out so far?
Yeah.
Robin, first of all, these two, I asked both of them, what is the problem? In one sentence.
Uh-huh.
What is the problem? And the problems that you just heard on the air are just fluffernutter. It goes way back. Scott does not respect Gary.
Okay.
Gary does respect you, Scott.
Okay.
Is that a surprise?
Yeah.
Why do you not respect Gary?
I got to tell you, I'm surprised that Scott doesn't respect me.
Why don't you respect Gary? Let's have it all come out
That's
now.
what's got to come out now. If this is to heal, it's got to come out now.
Honesty, right?
That's it.
Scott, why don't you respect Gary?
Probably because I feel that I work harder than he does, from my perspective, and
Don't bang on your own crappy equipment. Yeah.
and it probably goes down to money too, and he gets paid probably a lot more than I get
But
paid.
why should that make?
Well,
it,
I mean,
why don't you?
I'm resentful.
But why don't you resent Fred or Artie or Howard or Robin? Why don't you
Because
resent?
I can't see your talent outward. I can see their talent. They're on the air all
See
the time.
that hurts.
Well, I'm just.
Now, how does that feel, Gary? Tell him how that feels.
It hurts because I don't think that you're so talented. I think that you're very good at what you do. I think you do it very badly in the sense that the end result is good. You're a good engineer. You know the show really well, but you're a pain in the ass to work with. You're sort of slow, and you bitterly complain every step of the way.
See, I wouldn't consider myself slow.
Gary, you said to me in private that these new guys like Sal, guys like Richard Christie, move much faster than Scott, and they show how slow he is.
And happily.
And happily, and they're happy to do it. You feel he has a bad attitude, don't you?
Yeah, I think his work is good. I'll tell you, Scott, I was saying to Pat in there, nobody knows the show better than Scott when it comes to engineering it and editing stuff. I'll go in there with something, and I'll say to Scott, do that, and that, and he goes, I got it. Or sometimes in the middle of a sentence, he goes, I know. And we look at each other, we know from working together. But if Scott's working on something, whatever it is, and you understand, we're doing a live show here, so it's very difficult to prioritize because what was a priority 30 seconds ago is now out the window. So Scott, I'll give something to Scott to do, and when I walk in, I go, I need this. His arms immediately go up in the air, and he goes, oh, what do you want?
Okay, is that true, Scott?
That is true, and I'll tell you why.
Why do you do that?
Okay, because if I'm in the middle of working on something you just asked me to do, it's very hard to stop
things.
Don't bang on the crappy
creative
equipment.
process.
And that's it. You don't have the ability to adapt and change.
No, and I can. You
But you don't.
No, I'm someone that likes to finish what I started. Before
But that's
I
not
move
how
on.
that's not how it works here.
No, I understand.
If
that.
we're doing a
told-
live show, let me ask you a question. If you're working on a very important piece of best of, say, or even a tape that I asked you that I said I really need, and something happened on the air that was monumental. I don't know. Somebody said something, and I need that tape right away. Not only do I expect that tape right away, I expect you to move fast on it. Instead, you're like, well, you either want this or you want that. I'm like, well, I want this. This is important. That's how the show operates.
Okay, Gary. Scott, can you do that? Can you do that?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Will you commit to Gary from now on when he interrupts your work, and it's important to him, therefore it's important to Howard, will you stop and do it without complaining, without moaning?
Okay.
He
Is
won't
that a
do it.
yes?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll tell you why, Patty's not being honest. Because he doesn't believe Gary is acting in my best interest.
Of course I do.
Well, you know what? That's why I want you here, Howard. That's exactly why you're part of this.
Gary is my spokesperson, and if he tells you to do something, you do it.
Hear it?
I understand
Gary
that.
is your superior.
No, I know that. I understand that.
All right.
Here's the problem, too. I'll be working on something. He said, I need this right away. Someone will come down and say, Gary needs you to do this without any further instruction.
Right.
I mean, when does he need me to do this? I don't know.
Right now.
No, they don't know that.
Oh, I see.
They don't know that, and that a lot of times that happens. They don't like an
Well,
internal.
why are you not being honest? Why did you leave here yesterday when you were not sick?
I really was.
No, you weren't.
No, I was.
You could be honest.
He was sick of Gary.
No.
You left early because you had a stupid little fight with Gary.
Absolutely, was totally.
So are you
full-
going to storm out of here like a baby every time you
No,
have a
no,
problem with
no,
Gary?
no.
Yeah, tell Pat, look him in the eye and tell him you're not going to do that.
I'm
You
not
do-
going to do that. I've already told him. I was
He threatens
totally
all the time to
full
do
of
it.
anxiety. I never do.
But
I
Scott,
did it once yesterday.
You admit that your battle cry is, I'm out of here and I don't need this. And that, again, goes to, well, if you don't need it and you're out of here, if you don't need it, I don't need it. I want you to need it, believe it or not. I want you to need to be here.
Did you hear? Hey, did you hear? Scott, did you hear Gary? He wants you to need to be here. He says he respects you, even
Right.
though you said you don't respect him.
That's correct.
So that should make you feel what?
It makes me feel good. I mean, I like to be respected, and I
Okay,
like people.
But that was a point you made to me that you didn't feel respected by Gary.
Right.
I respect your work, but I don't respect your attitude.
My attitude sucks.
Can your attitude change?
My attitude can change. I admit I do have a bad attitude.
Why?
At times.
Why?
I can tell you why. It's money. Scott,
A lot of it has to do with that. Yeah.
But what do you want from us? We don't pay you.
I know. I know that.
But I do resent the fact that Scott looks at me and nobody knows how much I make. But I'm sure in Scott's mind, I will guarantee you that whatever Scott thinks I make is nowhere near what I make. Because everybody thinks that I'm like some millionaire. or something.
No. Everybody
And
thinks I'm a millionaire too, but
No, we actually don't.
Nobody
think that.
thinks you're a
Because you tell-
millionaire.
But you know why we don't think
But
that?
I'm
Because
not here.
You'll tell us
I'm
every
not-
step of the way that you're.
everybody that fans. I'm talking about. You work on the Howard Stern show. You
Stop
must make.
banging on the bad equipment.
You must make a good living.
But what I make for a living should in no way impact on whether I need you to do something. And
Here's my point. When you accept a job,
right, do it.
You got to do the job the best you can.
Right.
If you don't like your wages, leave. Or tell management you want more money or you're leaving.
Now, I've said that to him before, and he has taken that as a sign of me not respecting him. I've said, listen, we like having you here, but I didn't tell you to keep this job. If you don't like it, you should move on. And he thinks that's me telling him, get out, which it isn't. I'm saying either enjoy what you're doing here and live with what you got, or go. Is that wrong?
No, that's my attitude.
And it doesn't mean I don't respect you. I mean, just bring a new attitude.
In addition to this, Gary, you also have to change a little.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to change and bring a new attitude, Scott?
Sure.
Some of the things he said from you, Gary, he doesn't like when you walk away from him when he's talking to you.
I do that. I do that.
Why?
Well, because what'll happen is we're going over the same ground again. It's this conversation that goes around and around. I'll give you a perfect example, and probably on one of those tapes when I walked away. 85% of Scott and mine's fights have been over best of. And what happens is Scott is no longer at a place where he can produce best of. So he needs help, okay? The help should come from other engineers. He's got a chief engineer, Richie, who has to go out and find him freelancers. Scott will come to me and he will say, we have nobody. I can't get best of done. What are you going to do about it? And the answer is, I'm not going to do anything about it.
See,
I give you the material. You are an engineer. If you can't get more engineers on, why has it now become my headache? That's you and your department's headache. Why is it my fault that you don't have the manpower to do it?
And I'm not. And I say to you, I'm not in charge of manpower. I don't hire. Right. I don't fire.
See,
I boss nobody around. It's not my decision.
But you go to your boss. You go to your chief engineer who is in charge of that. You say, I need help.
Well, you know what he's going to get. Tom Chiasano doesn't get any help.
Well, I got to give Tom credit now.
They have.
We have worked out a deal.
But even before that, forget about the fact that you're now allowed to do overtime. Before that, Tom has given you people. You guys have not been able to find the people that you need to do the job. Again, I don't know why it's my fault. In other words, should I be out there looking for freelance engineers to produce best of? No. I don't believe so.
No,
and that's what they should be doing.
I agree with you. It's not your job.
You do agree with him.
You do put it on me.
I believe it's your job to. You should go to the people that have to hire them, not me.
And we have. And what ends up happening is you guys, these freelancers quit, and then everything. And also, you oversee the whole project.
It's a very complicated process.
It's not complicated. You oversee it, correct?
The doing of best of.
You oversee it, and when it's getting to be a month before best of, and it's not done, I always say, Scott, you should be the one that should be afraid, going, "Oh my God, we don't have enough best of." Instead, it's me. And Scott goes, he puts his arms up in the air, and he goes, "I got nobody. What do you want from me?"
But Gary, despite best of, you'll work on not walking away from him when he's talking.
As long as he doesn't yell, I will stay.
Okay, can you do that?
Yeah.
Why do you yell at him?
Because he can't yell at his wife?
That's where I feel I don't get respected.
But he feels. I also think that Scott feels I'm the only one here that he can yell at. He's not going to yell at Howard. Right. Not going to yell at Fred. Not going to yell at Robin.
Can you stop yelling?
Yeah.
Really, Scott?
I am.
I just heard these tapes of you yelling.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you yell.
But that's.
Can you stop yelling?
Like I said, it builds up in me, and then I go. I mean,
tell Howard why it's building up in you. Tell him what you told me.
Frustration. I mean, I'm.
Do you feel part of the team?
No, sometimes I don't. I'm made to.
Who cares?
I know. See?
Howard.
That's the attitude.
Howard.
Who cares what you feel?
Howard, wait, time out. Howard, whoa, time out.
What am I, your daddy?
Yeah.
You are the CEO. Howard, hold on. Howard, you're the CEO here.
CEO nothing. Who wants to hear this crap?
No, Howard, you got to tell him he's important.
He is important, but he better. He needs to be able to get a pat on the back every 10 seconds.
He tells me that.
And see, I tell you something.
He is important.
Hear that?
How many times? How many times? I tell him all the time.
It makes me feel
He gets upset when you forget his birthday. I'm not married to this crazy loon.
The birthday.
It's his birthday. I don't care about your birthday.
Let me ask you a question. What's the thing that Howard or this show has forgotten you for that has hurt the most?
Probably Robin not inviting me to your birthday.
But here, Howard, you understand something?
This came out in the green room.
I feel that comes back to me in the sense that he's got this resentment. And he doesn't know where to put it. And sometimes he's, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't.
Gary, you're right.
Scott should have been there. Where's Robin? Robin left now.
She can't take it.
She's either dude.
I was just going to say, why didn't she invite Scott to the birthday party?
How could she leave in the middle of the?
Well, her excuse was she had to cut the line somewhere.
Right.
And
then Scott
I was the line.
Well, it's true. How many people can she invite?
But Scott could name 6 people that were there.
Obviously, I named Benji as one of them because he was invited, and he's only been here a few years, and I've been here 19 years. Why was he invited? Why was I the line and him not?
Well, you'd have to ask her that, but she left.
We already went through that on the air. It was just like,
no, but the point is that it does come back in this festering resentment.
It builds up, right?
And it built up until yesterday where you said something that you do regret, right?
I said something, probably one of the most horrible things I've ever said to a person. I was, I apologize.
What did you say?
I said to Scott, good luck finding work in a year, meaning when we leave here, good luck finding work. Now, I said to you, Pat, I'm not the guy that hires and fires people here. I don't even have my own job.
But it felt good to hit him with that hammer.
It did. It did. I mean, he pushed me to the brink, and I pulled out the heavy artillery.
I want to ask you, why did I push you when you initiated the abuse on me?
Well, because you immediately started.
Why was that? Answer the question.
Scott never appears to have anything to do with anything. The arms go up like this. I don't know. And then it's immediately followed by him explaining to you how hard he's working at that moment.
Pat, I suggest to you that this can't be solved because Scott will always have a deflated sense of ego because none of us think about him enough. He's an endless pit of need.
And something worse happened today, Howard.
What happened?
I knew that Scott and I didn't get along, and I thought it was because I felt, he felt I didn't respect him, vice versa. But I found out for the first time that Scott really doesn't think I'm talented enough to be doing what I'm doing.
Is that true?
Now, is that true?
He doesn't respect me. He doesn't think that I deserve to be
Be honest,
respected
Scott.
the way I am by everyone else. That hurts.
Be honest.
And will not be
Now's the
forgotten.
time to say it.
Say it, baby.
You hear that? He's hurt. Be honest.
I'm
Say it, Scott.
No. I didn't think you're talented.
You just said earlier you don't think. I said, why don't you say it to any of these other guys? And you go, because you don't think I work as hard as you, and you don't think I'm as good as you.
No, you work hard. I'm not debating that.
You don't think
jealousy?
he does? Are you jealous of him, or do you really think he's incompetent?
I'm not jealous. I can see some.
You're not jealous?
Incompetence.
What? Incompetence?
You're not jealous of Gary? Of his relationship with Howard? Of being in the in crowd?
Am I jealous? No.
Of his work? Of his pay?
I don't think I'm jealous of.
Yes or no?
In crowd. I mean, no. I'm not jealous. If you see it as jealous, I don't feel it as jealous.
What do you see it as?
Resentment. I don't.
But
know.
why?
Yeah, why?
Why resent?
You
why,
can't have what he has. He's him.
Why do you resent me and say, and I'm not picking on him, but why don't you resent Benji? Benji's got a great job. Benji's in the in crowd. Benji works hard. Why don't you resent him? And why me?
Do you feel you could be a better producer than Gary of this show?
No, it's not what I do. I'm not a producer. I couldn't.
Then why do you resent him?
I guess I feel that he gets a lot of attention and praise.
Wouldn't that be jealous?
I don't. What is she doing over?
Let him answer.
I feel I work equally as hard and don't get as much.
So you're jealous of him?
If that's what you call jealousy, I guess.
What do you call jealousy?
I suppose I am.
What do you call jealousy?
Being, I guess him having something that I don't.
Right. You just described a bunch of things you want that he has.
Aren't you angry that he gets personal appearances and you don't?
Yeah, come on.
Be honest.
Yes.
Aren't you angry that
But I shouldn't.
Wait, aren't you angry that I did the trim spa campaign and made money? I know you were very upset about that.
Yeah, I would have liked
it got back to
part
me.
of that.
But
part of it.
But nobody asked you to do it. But
right.
I'm on the air more than you.
Right.
I'm not more important than you. I don't think, but I'm more visible than you. And that's
You hear what he just said?
You're more important. He's
Gary.
And they felt that I was a more visible person to do the trim spot
That's
thing.
fine. They made this decision.
But still, I hear in your voice.
Pat, what can Scott do with this jealousy that he has of Gary? He's focused on Gary.
Right now, he has to purge himself of it. He has to admit
How do
now
you
in
do
front
that?
of you, he's doing it. He's admitting for the first time that he's jealous of Gary.
He can't even come to terms with it.
See, this is it right now.
Okay.
And there's nothing to be jealous of. If you're the best engineer,
I know,
and he's the best producer, that's apples and oranges.
Right, then we should be the two best people in the business.
This is the all-star team.
Absolutely.
It's the best radio show in the world, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're the engineer for the show.
That's right.
You should look in the mirror and shake your head up and down instead of being bitching and moaning and being in a bad attitude.
Okay.
And be part of the team. They don't believe you're part of the team. You punch in and you punch out. You're a union worker, but we have a team player and a union player at conflict here.
I have a question for you, Scott, because this came up with Pat and I earlier.
Go ahead.
We do the staff meeting every Thursday.
Right.
Do you come to it?
No.
Why? It's during.
Well, how do you expect to be invited to his birthday party if you don't go to the team meeting?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
I was coming to the meetings every week.
Right.
And then I would go finish what I had to do.
Right.
So that involved me staying past my 8 hours, and that involved me getting overtime.
And this is where I feel anger. Okay.
Well,
it goes past your hourly wage, but in the grand scheme of things,
Right.
if you're in that staff meeting where we talk about today, Pat Croce's coming on, and we need 3 podiums set up with 3 microphones.
Right.
Instead of in the morning you going, nobody told me, even though you'd have to stay a little extra, in the long run, wouldn't it A, make your life easier, and B, make you more important to us?
Yes.
Then why don't you do it? That's one of those things that's always nagging.
When will you start doing it?
I'll start Thursday.
With a positive attitude.
At the next meeting.
With a positive attitude.
And if the meeting ends at 12:15, don't tell everyone I didn't get paid for those 15 minutes, because I think it helps you as well as us.
Well, it's not 15 minutes. It's like
it could be an hour. Scott,
It could be an hour and a half.
Scott, the point is you want to earn respect.
I do.
And you earn
that's the way
respect by investing more time.
Right. Okay.
They want you in the meeting.
But you agree,
Yes.
Howard, that you wouldn't want to work for free either. You don't come in here to get paid nothing.
I don't come here to get paid nothing. Right. I don't think you're treated well as an engineer in terms of, but he's right, Pat. You are the best engineer. I have fought for you all along for you to work here. I believe in you.
Thank you.
If you have a money dispute, Gary isn't the guy sitting and bad mouthing you, and I'm not the guy bad mouthing you. We're saying you're the best engineer in the business.
Did you hear that?
You don't hear it.
No, I know.
But Tom Chiusano is trying to get in on this, but
Yes,
I do want to say one more
coming
thing,
in
Howard.
every door he can find.
Here's Tom.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
Because Pat put me on the spot, and he said to me, right now, if you were in charge and you had to decide whether to take Scott with you, would you? And I said, the answer is I don't know. And he said, why? And I said, here's the deal. I love Scott's work. Scott's work is not in question. It's Scott's attitude. And if his attitude was better, I'd take him with me in a second. But I don't have that choice.
You hear that?
It's my attitude. No, I can totally
and that's your
understand
choice.
I do have a bad attitude, and it's just because
that's
of
your choice.
Resentment over the years of not.
So when are you going to purge it? When are you going to let that rest?
That would be right now.
Do we have your word on it?
Yes.
I think one additional point, if
Sure.
you wouldn't mind, Gary. Do you feel apology is due him for yesterday?
Absolutely. I was going to call him last night, but I spoke to Pat, and we were going to do this on the air. I wanted to call you after you left yesterday. That was probably the meanest thing I've said to anybody, and I apologize for it.
I accept it.
How do you feel hearing that from Gary?
Well, I mean,
how do you feel?
I feel good because it takes a man to admit that he was wrong and apologize.
Absolutely. I knew.
I thank you.
The second I said it, I might as well just stuck a knife in your heart. And anybody I told that I said it just went, "Oh my God!"
I thought that was pretty low. Tom, do you want to add something to this?
If Gary and Scott thought it was important for Scott to attend the Thursday meeting and then stay overtime and complete his day's work,
well, that's Tom.
So, someboody just got to come to me and say, "Hey, this is important. He should be here."
Not true, Tom, and I'll tell you why. Because you know that for a long time there was
that was then.
That got lifted a month ago.
No, it was more than that.
The no overtime edict for Scott.
Right, which was a creation or Scott's creation, because he said some things that were said on the air that got the CEO of the company to say,
and that's more.
You don't like it here?
And that's more resentment.
See, that's another factor. I was being honest on the air on a radio show, and I got the S kicked out of me by the big bucket in the company.
All right, here's the thing.
Why wouldn't I feel resentment? You know, you open your mouth and you be honest, and then all of a sudden, bam.
But there were plenty of times after that. I'm sorry, but I got to say there were plenty of times after that, as time went on, when it was important for Scott to stay and do overtime, where I would approve overtime.
All right, there it is. This is. I guess it's resolved, Pat.
I think it's resolved. You're getting overtime. You're going to develop a better attitude.
Yes, much
you feel
better.
part of the team.
Yes.
Gary, Bubba Booey's not going to ignore you, turn around, but you also have to respect his position and what he does.
Okay.
Hey, Howard.
What is it, Benji?
It's just not coming out. Scott is treated like dirt around here by interns on up.
Well,
I'm not saying,
but it works both ways. I got to tell you, because Scott will treat interns like dirt.
I never treat interns like dirt.
Don't make me start the parade.
Who did I treat like dirt as an intern?
A lot of the interns say that you will yell at them. And you should.
Is that true? Do you yell at interns?
I have on occasion yelled at interns.
Is that a yes?
Yes. I don't like to, because they're here to help and work.
Hey, Pat, this is some case, huh? Yeah, you know what? This is going to blow your mind, pal.
It's like it's all my fault.
Do me a favor. What's it cost to have you here full time? Talk to Tom about that.
Sony camera?
Yeah.
Can I say one thing in closing?
Yes.
Scott's not obligated to stay at this job. I'm looking at a guy who feels like he's not respected, that's treated like dirt,
that's true.
who continues to stay. And there's a part of me that says, well, either stand up for yourself and go somewhere else, or sort of take what you have here and say, these are the cards I've been dealt, and this is how I'm going to play it.
Makes sense, Scott. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I can leave anytime I want, I suppose. I mean, if I don't like it, then...
Or you can choose a better attitude and attack this job.
Right.
You know what? Let me say this about Scott, because nobody's coming to poor Scott's defense.
Right.
Scott loves this job.
But it's hard
why?
to tell.
I'm trying to figure out now why I love this job.
I wouldn't know that.
I don't think you don't recognize that.
I don't, because he never lets me know that.
He's not recognized for loving. I see it. He loves this job.
I would never know that. I wouldn't. All you do is complain, and I think, how would I know you love this job?
Scott, is Robin right? Do you love this job?
I absolutely love it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I mean, even...
I bet you didn't even know I knew that,
Why are you
Scott.
laughing?
Where are you going to go?
Yeah, really, where am I going to go?
Yeah, let's be honest.
No one else wants
but
me.
even so, he absolutely loves being associated with this show. He loves working on this show. He
Some
takes
resolution.
great pride.
Robin, we have to just add a little resolution here. Scott, when Gary asks for something,
right,
one of those urgent...
Pat has made me realize something. I got to say the guy's good. In order to be respected and remembered and considered, you've got to make yourself invaluable.
Okay.
And your work is top notch.
Thank you.
I've gone to Tom many times Believe me, Tom's no fan of yours, I don't think. And I'm going to tell you something.
I haven't noticed it. No.
If you left tomorrow, I don't even think Tom would notice.
He would love me to leave tomorrow.
But I would notice. I tell him what a great job you do.
Thank you.
I tell him all the time what a great job you do.
Thank you.
I said, Scott is invaluable.
Don't make me cry.
No, I'm telling you.
Scott, do you?
And I've told
Just
you
listen
this.
and enjoy this. This is what you're craving.
I've told you this before.
Yes.
I've sat you down and said, Scott, you're really important to me and the show. Be part of the meetings.
Okay.
Be part of the intern program here. Be part of everything. Make friends with everyone. Be enthusiastic. If you are, if it's true what Robin says, that you love the job, then let everyone know you love the job. Embrace it. Be proud to be a Howard
Scott.
Stern show guy.
A young lover of
And
boys.
you will become even more valuable. Even, dare I say, to Tom. Tom will say, God, this guy's so upbeat. He keeps things going.
Yeah.
It's really
We
hard.
can't lose him.
It's
If
hard.
Howard ever leaves, I got to have this guy.
That is.
Now, Robin, why didn't you invite Scott? I'll tell you why. You don't even have to answer. She didn't invite you to the party because who thinks of you? You're never around.
That's not it. That's not it at all. Everybody was thought of, but I had a set number of people I could invite, and I had to cut in various places. So lots of people I would have loved to have been there couldn't be there.
And by the way, yes, Scott does fight with interns. Here's a tape of Scott fighting with the interns.
Oh, dear.
I didn't deny that I didn't fight.
That's right. Just so everyone knows we're not making stuff up. You've got to get a better attitude.
deny that.
Absolutely.
Go do your little thing. Okay, fine. You're a intern, that's right, pal. Yeah, really. And you're a 50-year-old and you're acting like you're in 6th grade, okay? Look, recess is over. What is your problem? What is your problem? What is your problem? Do you understand what's going on here? You have no clue what's going on here. So before you open your mouth, why don't you find out some facts? I have no clue because you're not telling me. Why don't you find out some facts before you open your mouth? What are the facts that you're talking about? Huh?
Well, there you go. I could play the whole thing.
This will change, right?
Well, if somebody disrespects me and steps all over me and hits me over the head with a baseball bat, what do you expect me to do? You tell
hold
me.
on. Can I answer that?
Yeah, yeah,
Can I
yeah.
answer that?
Do I do it the wrong way?
No,
Is that what
can I
I
tell you
do?
something? I do get angry with you, and I do, even this morning with Sal, I might have jumped on a little bit about the farting thing, although that was inappropriate. But I take a lot of crap around here, and I swallow a lot of crap, and there's lots of times where I love to say to people above and below me, go after yourself, and I don't.
Takes two people to fight, Scott. One's got to have a good attitude. One's got, if there's a bad attitude, then somebody's got to have a good attitude, or you wind up with an argument. And people with bad attitudes don't get good things more often than not.
I know that, but I just don't like being taken advantage of. That gets me really, worked up.
Well, but taking advantage of by an intern?
Well, if somebody comes and just starts, ragging on me or cursing
That's
me
not
out,
taking advantage
I don't know
of
what
you.
started that argument. I don't even remember it.
You know what? We had 2 semesters ago, an intern came in here on his second day and started really making fun of me. I was pissed at that intern the entire semester, but I didn't let him know it. He left. I shook his hand. I thought we gave that guy a great opportunity, and he immediately turned on me for no good reason.
Well, he'll never have a job with you either.
But fine. But it's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm done. I'm not going to sit there and hammer an intern. I know how I feel. I am confident enough in what I do to not care what he thinks, meaning the intern.
Right.
That's a good point, Scott.
Pat,
he told you, Howard Stern told you that you're the best engineer on the planet. So
Yeah.
no one, unless you give them permission, can make you feel lousy now. No one. No intern. Baba Booey. No one.
Your problem is you don't believe that I'm telling you the truth.
Do you believe him?
No, I do. I believe you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't believe it. You think that you're here just because, well, no one else is here. No, you're here because I wanted you here.
And you know how
that.
But I think one of Scott's biggest problems is he's just not being heard. He's not being heard.
I'll tell you something.
Well, who would listen to him with that
You know
monotone?
what? But the funny thing is, everybody's saying, well, Scott doesn't yell. Scott yells at me all the time, and I just stand there until when he's finished, I give him whatever I want him to do. He goes and does it.
Well, you're lucky she has a good attitude.
Yeah,
She laughs at
Other
me.
people don't.
and the other thing I want to say to Scott, I started to think yesterday about what life on the show would be without Scott. And I started to think that...
How good would it be?
No, he knows... I'm not talking about the attitude. I'm talking about the quality of the work. He knows the show better than anyone else. And trying to teach someone new that would be very difficult. These new guys do good work with the current stuff. Scott's got the history of the show in his head. He's got 20 years of knowing what I want and what you want in his head.
And I can say for a fact that he will go out of his way to do whatever he can for you. If you need something, Scott will turn over this entire
I don't see that.
building to
Sounds like
find
a
it.
Hey, Pat, punch Scott in the face. Let's see what happens.
So you don't, Gary, you don't see that. I'll tell you why you don't see that. Because you usually send down stuff with an intern. Here, give this to Scott, and then you're oblivious to what.
No,
goes on after
listen.
that.
I know.
All right, let me look. Pat, no offense to you. You did a great job, but
Howard.
forget these two. It's tough. It's tough. All right, Pat is a relationships expert.
I thought he did a great job.
He did good.
Yeah.
He did a real
You two
good
are
job.
tough.
But you
two are
two,
tough.
you two are very thick.
We're brick walls.
Yeah.
Right, let's end it, Howard, like this. Come on.
What is this?
Hugs.
Hugs.
Oh, come on. Get in there. Yeah.
I'll shake his
Pat,
hand.
no, come here.
Can I say it in my best Philly accent? I ain't no homo.
Come here.
Hug each other.
Get in here.
Go ahead.
Come on, you're on the same team. Hug. Get in there. Give it.
Oh.
There you go. Howard.
Congratulations, Pat. You've just worked with the two most difficult people on the
Howard,
planet.
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You think it's resolved?
Although I am going to try.
I'll try myself too.
That's it. That's all it starts with.
You know, I'm not going to be negative. Yeah, we'll try.
Right.
That's it. That's
I
my
want
new
you to be
attitude.
able to respect him.
All right.
And I want him to be able to listen to you.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, that's all. And again, he's right. It's all here. It's your choice what attitude
No,
you choose.
I understand. So that I totally
And
understand.
you can own this place. You're the You heard it from him, so I don't think you believe him. Now you got to be able to believe him.
Okay.
Gary, was there anything that was said that hurt either one of you in there?
Yeah, well, I think I found out that at first I think that I got the impression that Scott didn't respect me, but now I think I feel it's more jealousy, which is easier for me to accept than not respecting the job that I do. I think it's jealousy. I think
It took a ways to get around that, but
Right.
That was it.
We got to it.
And that makes you feel better. Now he's purged it, and you all know where you come from. This is a new slate. Start for it. Let's go, man.
Well, we have also a new era to look forward to.
Well, some of us.
And remember, you don't want to be the. That's good. You don't want to be the producer. He doesn't want to be.
No. I know I never could do this job because it's impossible. He has to know how to bullshit with people in a certain way.
It's a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not the one that can get conversation going like he can to entice somebody to come on or to get a guest or whatever. Because it does take a certain talent, I guess.
What I'm dying to know is, if you don't respect me, what'd you think of John?
Don't get me started.
That's a whole
with John.
Okay, so Pat, you just mediated a little tiff between Gary and Scott. How do you think it all panned out?
I think it panned out pretty well because now Scott realizes that he was jealous, and that frustration built up into rage, and he never said he was jealous. So now he's purged himself of that. He's going to try to start creating a new attitude. It's his choice. He knows that. He heard Howard Eskin say he's the best engineer on the planet. So there, his ego's been boosted. So regardless of interns, Gary, anyone else, it can't pull him down unless he gives them permission to pull him down. That's what I was talking to him about. Gary, on the other hand, has now earned the respect from Scott because he's apologized. He's admitted that he's done wrong in the past, that he's jumped on his case. But they have to realize that communication is the key to this relationship in the future, because if Gary asks for something, that means Howard's asking for something, and Scott's got to jump on it, and if he can't do it, he's got to tell him why.
All right, you had a good time, Pat?
Had a great time. It was
All
fun.
right, thanks for coming down.
My pleasure.